The lesson is about yes-no questions in Farsi. Generally speaking, there are two types of question in Farsi and in English as well. Is yes-no questions and WH questions. In WH questions, you are looking for some missing information. So you ask the other person or some other people to give you some information. But in yes-no questions, you have some information. You want your information to get confirmed or refused, that oh, that's true or not. So let's look at some examples how to form a yes-no questions in Farsi. Yes-no question in Farsi. So we have the sentence تو به خانه رفتی. So this is a statement. تو به خانه رفتی. So the first way to form a yes-no question in Farsi is by changing the intonation. Here the intonation of the sentence is falling. You say تو به خانه رفتی. You know, it's almost falling at the end. But if you change the intonation to rising intonation and putting the stress at the end of the sentence, specifically the verb, you have a yes-no question. تو به خانه رفتی. تو به خانه رفتی. So as you can see, here we have a question. And the intonation is rising and the end of the sentence has been stressed. Let's look at another example. شما کتاب خریدید. This is a statement. You bought book. You plural. شما کتاب خریدید. So the intonation is falling. But now we change the intonation of the sentence and we say شما کتاب خریدید. شما کتاب خریدید. And we put the stress on the end of the sentence, specifically the verb. So the intonation is rising and it will be a question. شما کتاب خریدید. While the statement was like this. شما کتاب خریدید. شما کتاب خریدید. So there is no stress on the end, but in the question form there is the stress on the end and the intonation is rising. This is the most common way to form a yes-no question, specifically in spoken Persian. Another way to form a yes-no question is using the word آیا. آیا. As you saw in previous example, there is no change in word order. In English, to have a yes-no question, you need to change the word order in the sentence. In Farsi, you don't need such a thing. And even in the second way to form the yes-no question, you don't need to change the word order. You just put the word آیا in the beginning of the sentence, and then you have a yes-no question. آیا او آیا آنها آمدند. آیا آنها آمدند. Again there is rising intonation and putting stress on the end of the sentence. Did they come. Did they come. Did they come. آیا آنها آمدند. There's no word. So this form using the word آیا is mostly in writing Persian when there is no way to change the intonation of the sentence to show the reader that there is a yes-no question here. But at the same time, it's very common in spoken Persian too. So the two ways, one is just in spoken, but the other one is common between spoken and written Persian. Let's look at another example. آیا شما به آنجا رفتید. Just by putting the word آیا in the beginning of a sentence, you have a yes no question. آیا شما به آنجا رفتید? So there is a change in intonation. So if we remove آیا from the beginning of the sentence and the question mark, then you have a statement. شما به آنجا رفتید. You went there. You went there. You went there. But if we put آیا back here, آیا شما به آنجا رفتید? Then we have a question. Did you go there? Did you go there? So that's these are two ways to form a yes no question in Farsi. Changing the intonation using a rising intonation, and the other one is using the word آیا, putting it in the beginning of a statement and make it to a yes no question.